Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow.
I wasn't afraid of anything. I was confident in everything I do. I was confident in failing because I know failing is the best way to learn. So I wasn't afraid of things. And I kind of prided myself on that. But when COVID hit, I was making goodie bags for my students because we all had to shut down. And so I figured, okay, I'm going to make these little gift bags so they had things to do. And we didn't think it was going to last that long. So I made these goodie bags with color books and goodies and toys and things. Now here I am relaxed, nothing triggered. I'm thinking about making goodie bags for the kids. And I get up and all of a sudden my heart starts to beat. I can hear it. And at the time, I didn't know. I've never had a panic attack. I've never had an anxiety attack. I didn't know what it was. And all of a sudden, it was going hard. So I could hear it. I said, okay, I'm, anxious. I've been working hard. Maybe lay down and take some deep breaths and it'll go away. And I lay down and I'm focusing and it's not going away. And so I call Kaiser Advice Line. I says, is there anything, this is what's going on. Is there anything I need to worry about? They says, well, let me ask you some questions. So they asked me about, other than my heart beating hard and I can hear it and stuff like that, everything else was no, 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 and yes, no, no, yes, no. And the nurse at Kaiser triggered my panic attack. She said, get to the emergency room immediately. When she said immediately, that triggered something in my brain. That's what ran it off. And I says, can I drive myself? No, don't drive yourself. Have somebody drive you and get here immediately. And that's when I went into freak out mode. And so it started to accelerate. And I was like, wait a minute, who can I call? It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to call my manager, Rochelle. And I said, no, if it is COVID, then I don't want to get her sick. So I said, I'll call an Uber. So I said, if it's Uber and I'm not sick and they have COVID, they're going to give it to me. And I said, screw it, I'm going to drive myself. So while I'm driving myself down there, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And of course, my mind is running away. I didn't know what this was going on. I get to Kaiser, I walk into the emergency room and I'm full blown. I thought it was COVID, because I'm freaking out, right? And panicking. I get in the chair. She's taking my blood pressure. I'm going, I'm dying. So I'm like falling in the chair and she's going, relax, relax. My heart's racing. I've never felt anything like it. I thought I was going to die. And she says, relax. If this is anything major, you're in the right place for it. They bring me into the room. And then, of course, now this is another thing that keeps my panic attack. The entire ER is like boy in the bubble. Every room is plastic. Every person's like, I'm going into some foreign place and I'm in a room and they got me gloves and, everything plastic covering the doors. And it's like crazy. And I'm like, okay, I'm freaking out. I feel these waves and they're taking blood tests and everything. They took all these tests and I'm saying, I need something to calm down. Give me something to calm down. And so all of a sudden they're doing these tests and they go out and they leave me for long periods of time because they did x-rays.
Are you all by yourself?
I'm all by myself in this plastic covered room where I can't see anybody. And I'm, pretty much on my own. And I start calming down. And I said, oh, did you give me something? She goes, no, we didn't give you anything yet. I said, oh, because all of a sudden am I right? And then boom, it starts to come back again. So it was like these waves. Anyway, they do all these tests. They come back in like a couple hours later, 3, 4 in the morning, and they're going, you're fine. And I went, no, I'm not. And they go, you're fine. All your tests are perfect. Your oxygen is perfect. Your x-rays are perfect. There's no problem. They say, just relax. Here's a prescription. It'll help you relax. We gave you some. By the time you get home, you're going to go to sleep. And they said, call your doctor in the morning. And so I'm like, no, don't send me home. Everybody says they go home and they come back and it's COVID, because you're hearing the news, right? We're getting freaked out by the news.
Spooky.
And so I go home and I start to calm down because I'm getting the sense of the medication they gave me. And I fall asleep and I wake up and I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm fine. And my doctor calls and find out it sounds like a panic attack. And I've never had one. So I didn't know how to understand what it was. But it took me several months to get rid of that feeling. Every now and then I feel that feeling coming on. I got to jump in a cold shower or do something to shock my body to get my mind off of it, So I can imagine what it's done to a lot of people. I'm strong mentally. And it affected me that much. So imagine the mental stress it put on everybody going through COVID. I mean, I get it. And here I am, a strong person. So because I'm strong, I've learned how to, if I feel that sensation, I know how to deal with it right away. And I can stop it in its slip. But back then, I didn't know what it was. That messed up my confidence in myself. It's almost like everybody thought I was Wonder Woman. And it was like something came down and shook me up and said, yeah, we'll see how Wonder Woman you are, right? We'll see how tough you are. And that hit me really hard and made me realize that I'm just as fragile as anybody else. It's all about how we deal with it.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.